Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to my review of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the last two episodes of the second season, episode 21 and 22. They're, was shown, as a 2-hour block tonight. Remember how last episode 20 ended, with Sky's mother, Jiaying, giving Gonzalez the crystal, thereby, turning him to stone because he's not worthy, even though he tried to make a peaceful gesture by giving her the little gift, like the little necklace, Chinese necklace that she was going to give to her daughter, to Sky. Okay, but actually, Jin Yang wanted to start a war with S.H.I.E.L.D. So basically, after she killed Gonzalez by giving him the crystal, she took the gun Gonzalez had and basically shot herself twice to make it appear as if S.H.I.E.L.D. attacked her. Gonzalez attacked her. Okay, and that's how it ended. But so this episode begins with her running out there saying, okay, that S.H.I.E.L.D. wants, S.H.I.E.L.D. wants war. And of course, Guy is torn, of course, not wondering what's going on, what happened. And of course, everybody's trying to find out what happened. And, did Gonzalez really turn on him? But then we find out, of course, that this is all part of Jin Yang's plan. She even has Gordon kidnap a Quinjet and fire it on the compound to make it look like S.H.I.E.L.D. is really going all out war. And May comes down looking to get Gonzalez, looking for Gonzalez. And of course, Sky tells us, to back off, and they fight a little bit. And of course, Sky, May's not wanting to fight her, but she kind of takes her measure for a little bit. Then she's quit playing around, and she basically beats the crap out of Sky. And then Sky uses her hurricane powers on her to knock May out. Okay, and then of course they go back to the ship. May comes back to the ship. Okay, and at the same time they're trying to find out exactly, what's going on. And of course they're arguing amongst each other. Simmons is saying that maybe Gonzalez did start the war, but her teacher at school, I forgot the lady's name, the black British lady, saying no, Gonzalez actually brought a little the necklace that they had for Sky as a peace offering. He wouldn't start that, and then of course Carlson figures it out and say no, of course he wouldn't. Gonzalez isn't going to start a war like that, and he figures out okay that Jiaying is actually the one starting it, and then you also have Sky. She actually goes to see Raina, and Raina basically tells her, listen, I can see the future. And she gives a bunch of cryptic stuff, but she basically says, I can see, and it's not going to be your mother's going to be ruling the people, it's going to be you. I can see that, of course. And, of course, Gordon and Jiaying conspire, and Gordon brings her an actual human being, and that she, to heal off her wounds, she actually sucks the life out of him. And of course, killing him, thereby killing him, and that's how she really heals. And so she's basically like a succubus. Okay, and of course, Mac is on the ship. Oh, I'm sorry, I back up a bit. We also find out who took, we know that Ward and Agent 33 took Bobby, and now you found out why they took her. Because basically, Agent Ward wants to give her closure by having Bobby admit that she is the one that actually handed Agent 33 over to Whitehall to be brainwashed. Okay, it's part of her cover, of course. So she said, "Listen, I don't regret anything. This is part of my cover. I had to stay undercover, and it's saved. I think she said over 20 agents' lives. I'm sorry that you were betrayed, but of course Ward, as in case that you're gonna give her closure, and he basically gives her this drug that numbs her up so she doesn't feel the pain immediately, but he like pushes these bamboo roots underneath her, metal things underneath her fingernails. He says basically you're gonna feel it in a few hours. Once it wears, the drug wears off, you're going to really feel it. Okay? And then, of course, Hunter finds out that Bobby didn't show up at the meeting and she's missing. And, of course, he goes back and tracks the footage with Fitz, and they see Agent May leaving twice. Of course, then they figure out, yeah, of course, this is Agent 33 impersonating Agent May. And she's, they've taken Bobby probably with Ward. Okay, and so they, check off, they head off to try to find him, try to find Bobby, and of course, Bobby has a brief moment where she escapes and beats the crap out of Ward, which I love that part, and then she knocks around Agent 33 a little bit, but then she ultimately gets caught. And I think Agent Ward breaks her leg, I think too, because I see him stamp on her leg. I think he breaks her leg. Okay, and basically he said, listen. He gives Agent 33 the gun and says, here, you can get closer and kill her now. But then she says, I'm not feeling it, baby. I'm not feeling it. She doesn't care about living or not. And she, oh, and he said, okay, then I got the perfect thing. and he ties her up to a chair and changes to the chair actually, and tells her, listen, I know you don't care about your life, but maybe you care about the first person that's going to come through this door, okay? And basically they're going to watch them, the brains explode, okay? So that's how they leave Bobby, okay? And now we go back to where Raina is actually talking to Ji Yang and tell her that she sees the future and that she's going to tell the people, that you're the one that actually started the war. Basically, she's telling her that. And of course, Ji Yang can't have that, so she basically slices Raina's throat by killing her. But what she doesn't know until she turns around is that Sky is watching. Dun dun dun. And of course, then she goes into her speech about, she's only doing this for her people, yada, 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 yada. And Sky says, you can't do this. This is a betrayal. How could you, mother? You lied to me. And then, of course, that guy comes up from behind her and whacks her in the head. And, of course, she tells her, take her to a holding cell. Maybe she'll, we'll take her with her on the, we'll take her on it. Where are they going next? And the next plan of them is to take the helicarrier, the same helicarrier that has that mysterious black liquid that the Kree I think created, and which looks like the gravitron thing that they had in the first season. That's in the special containment and stuff. And basically they sneak upon the ship, and they basically take over the ship by knocking out people and stuff. And then their plan is really to expose as many people to the crystals as possible. Okay, to see who's inhuman and who's not. They don't care how many people they got to kill to do that. Okay, and also before Fitz gets ready to go on a mission, with Coulson and everybody to take back the helicarrier from the Inhumans, Simmons basically tells Fitz that she loves him, but not in so many words. But she tells him because she fears that of course she's never going to see him again. She may not see him again, and she kind of tells him that in her indirect way, but that he has to leave because Coulson comes in and pulls him to the side. So they head off. And also, at the same time, Mac, who was getting ready to leave last week, is on the ship, and he sees the humans taking over the ship. So he hides, and then he comes out, and he sees them carrying Sky. So his plan, of course, is to knock on as many Inhumans as he can, and then he breaks Sky free. And of course, he takes her down and gives her a computer and tells her to hack into the system to let Coulson know, activate the speak and let Coulson know where we are with the ship. And of course, this is what Raina wants. Actually, she wants them to expand the beacon to include even more people because she wants to kill even more people. Oh yeah, and back at the ship, I forgot where they took Crazy Cal. Coulson is constantly trying to talk to him to try to appeal to him to tell him what Ji Yang's master plan is. You want to protect Daisy, and basically he starts flipping out in the cell, and they actually I think he passes out in the cell, and then they take him back to the medical space, and then his heart starts beating, and then Simmons gives him an adrenaline, injection of adrenaline, and of course he shoots back up, and of course, and then he falls off the bed, and he comes up, and he looks like a teenage Frankenstein. And of course he starts destroying the lab and stuff, and Coulson, they kind of try to lock him in, but then he breaks out, and then Coulson comes in. Actually, they're chasing Coulson, Fitz, and Simmons, and Coulson ultimately pins Cal to the side of the building with a truck, and he basically appeals to him, listen, do this for Daisy. Okay, your mother is, your wife is crazy, and he basically, they kind of have a heart talk where he basically says he had to basically kill a whole village so Ji Yang can stay alive. So she had to basically suck their energy out, and of course they wither and die. He's basically said he's telling Coulson that he actually did this to to keep her alive, and Coulson says, listen, we want to get Daisy, and ultimately he appeals to Kyle, and Kyle says, okay, let me help you, and then they, of course, they take him on the mission. Okay, and also I forgot to mention, May actually went with Hunter to look for a body, and they kind of track them down. They do track them down, and of course, they're waiting to see, for S.H.I.E.L.D. to come, and of course, they start basically taking out the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, you know, not the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and of course May is there, and then she basically fools Agent 33 on the radio, saying that she's going to go one way, but actually go another. So Agent 33 actually takes Agent May's face, and she kills one of the guards, thinking that she's Agent May, and then she overhears her talking on the radio saying that she's going to go one way, and she goes the other way, and then of course Ward comes out, and thinking it's May, he shoots her 3 times, and then of course she goes, "Oh no, baby," and then she dies. So Agent Ward actually killed Agent 33, thinking that she was Agent May. So that's Agent 33's story is over for the time being. Okay, so they take now the next plan is to take over. They go to the helicarrier that the humans have taken over, and it's going to be. They even have Crazy Cow with them because they think the Crazy Cow said, "I can stop my wife." Okay, and so they let him on, and then also I forgot to mention Lincoln, who's on the ship. You can tell that he's having doubts about Jean Yang's plan, and ultimately he does flip and turn and teams up with Sky, and then of course when Fitz gets on the plane, he has these dampeners to inhibit Gordon from jumping from place to place. And it doesn't seem to be working that good because he's jumping from place to place, and Mac and Coulson and Fitz are basically swinging him, trying to knock him out. And then eventually he actually gets impaled when he comes back into one of the pipes that they're holding. Okay, so no more Gordon. And Gordon, before he dies, he throws a crystal at basically throws it and flips it in the air, hoping I guess everybody in the room to get affected and die. But Coulson makes the save, grabs the crystal, but he's touching it with his bare right hand, and then Mac comes along with the axe and says, you can see it's slowly spreading, and then he just chops it off right about here to end that, so Coulson doesn't have a right arm, I think, anymore. Oh, left. I think it's a left arm he cut off. Left arm, I'm sorry. So Coulson shouldn't. He'll probably get a metal arm or something on next season or something. But anyway, and basically they actually take back the ship from the Inhumans, and actually Jean Yang is trying to make her escape when Sky confronts her on the top of the loading dock of the helicarrier, not the loading dock, the top deck of the helicarrier, and of course Sky says, "I can't let you take the crystals. I can't let you hurt innocent people." And Sky's mother doesn't care. She said, "Listen, I always thought you were my gift, my precious gift, but I guess I am." And then she basically starts sucking the life out of Sky. Of course, Sky knocks away her powers, and and then of course Crazy Cow happens to come up. Okay, and while Jin Yang is trying to suck the life out of Sky, and he basically grabs her, and she says, "What are you doing here, Cal?" And Cal doesn't say, much, but I think he says, "I'm protecting my family," and he basically crushes and kills Jin Yang by just, I think he broke her. He just he lifted her up and pulled her close, and I guess he snapped a few bones and stuff and crushed her, and then she basically died like that. Okay, so Coulson and ultimately take back the ship from the Inhumans. Okay, and you also have May's husband comes back, the good doctor, to see Coulson and tell him about his team, how he evaluated each one of them and stuff. And then you have Crazy Cow, who says goodbye to Sky, and telling the best day ever, and she kind of jokes with him, about the best day ever, and he says, well, no, wait, this is what she says. What he says, helping, seeing my daughter again, best day ever, and she kind of finished and said, best day ever. You got a couple of those, and he goes, no, the best day ever is July 2nd, 1986. I think he says that, which is of course her birthday, and she smiled because you can tell, as crazy as Cal is, the one thing that you can't never doubt is that his love for Daisy. That he actually loves her to death, and you see him go off, and he basically says, "Listen, I know I'm going away for a long time, and I probably won't see you, but stop by every once in a while." And she says, "Sure." Okay, and then the next thing we see Crazy Cow putting a sign up, a veterinarian, and he greets the patient, and he sees Sky come by, and he basically tells her, "Listen, we're having a free adoption night on Saturday. Feel free to come by." And she tells him her name, Daisy. And he said, "That's a lovely name." And he goes back, and then you find out, because Coulson's sitting on Lola, that Sky asked him for that favor to wipe out the Tahiti program, to wipe out Cal's memory, so he doesn't have the memory of being Sky's father, which is kind of sad, because that's what he lives for. But at least this way he gets to start fresh and start new. And Coulson did that as a favor to Sky, which is, I think, pretty cool. And then also you find out that he put Mac's not leaving, and Mac is going to be in charge of all the alien artifacts that they find. And also, I forgot to mention that Hunter had set it, not Hunter, Ward had set it up where he had Bobby tied to a chair and the gun right directly over her shoulder. So as soon as somebody come in the door to rescue her, he had it on a timer, the gun would go off and shoot that person. And like I said before earlier in my view, blood all over the place. He said, Ward says brains everywhere. Okay, so he leaves. Okay, and they're searching. Hunter is searching with May in the thing for him. And Bobby actually does a heroic thing. She actually, when Hunter hits the door, she pivots her chair so she could actually takes the bullet in upside her head, and Hunter rushes in, of course, and they medevac her out real quick, and of course she survives, but she says she's done with she's done with S.H.I.E.L.D. much to Hunter's surprise. You see the surprised look on his face. Okay, and then we go back to oh yeah, I forgot to say, Agent Coulson told Sky that she's going to be in charge of a new project, taking care of the people with powers, but this time, you have to keep it secret. Okay, but you'll be in charge of that. And he gives her the folder. Okay, and they go off on Lola, and then you see Fitz and Simmons together again, and basically Fitz asks Simmons out to dinner again, and she's sort of distracted a little bit, but she agrees, and he goes off, and then she's in the basement with the weird Kree, that graviton stuff that was in the first season. And basically, it breaks out of the sun and grabs Simmons and sucks her back in, and that's how it ends. And that was crazy and intense. And this season has definitely been an improvement for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have to give them that. Okay, still not perfect. Too a little bit obsessed with Sky, but I can deal with it. But Sky as a character has gotten a lot better. She's not a Mary Sue, and she's gotten a lot better than she was in the first season. Okay, and I still love how Kyle MacLachlan as Kyle. You can tell he's absolutely plays bat-esque crazy, and he's loving that part. And that he's one of the best parts of this show. Crazy Cal, who loves his daughter Daisy so much. Okay, anyway, let me know what you think of the 21st and 22nd episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long, and take care.